welcome once again. Mà kí wá pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa, ìkànnì Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. The 19th of June 2024. It is just coming up to 5 minutes past 2 a.m. right from London, as we continue our campaign and as we continue our awareness on the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination. Konisuwa, Konirewa, Nigeria is not going to work. It has been a failed country and it will remain so. And there's no amount of your prayers that will revive the contraction known as Nigeria. So we are back on the track with the message from Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the good news, path to prosperity in our Orile-ede Yoruba. This will be the 4th week, I believe, that we've started discussing this very important document in educating and making sure that many Yoruba people understand, exactly what it means to have our own independent country away from the zoo that British created in 1914 on our behalf called Nigeria. So if you're new to the platform, the only thing we discuss here is self-determination. We care less about whatever your plan is to fix a country that British knew very well that the Yoruba people will not be able to fix. So Mokiwa Kwe Ekabo Sorieto, and I say good morning, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are watching from. Bí ẹ ti ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, eléyìí tí Bàbá Akintoye gbélé mi lọ́wọ́ pé ká máa fi ṣe awareness, ká máa fi create the preparedness, because whether you like it or not, Nigeria will collapse just as many countries have folded up in the past. Nigeria koluma kọ́kọ́ jẹ́ ìlú tó máa break up. So even if your pastor, your imam, your babalawo tells you that Ọlọ́run máa fix Nigeria, God did not create Nigeria. Lugard, under the fraudulent British, created that monster that is now creating havoc to the millions of lives of indigenous people. We are not tribes. We are indigenous people. We are ethnic and Morawari. We have our own culture. We have our own ideology. We have our own ways of life until British force this amalgamation. And what is going to happen is this amalgamation is going to break up. If you like, pray from now till thy kingdom come, Nigeria will break. Nigeria will dissolve. The only thing we're asking for is it needs to be dissolved in an amicable way so that koni fa ogun. And if that is going to be the end of it, some of us are prepared for such. But because we are Yoruba people, highly intelligent, there is no need for us to go through that route. That is the reason why we are doing this awareness continuously in the night, in the morning, so that Komaba Sokwe, Mo Monton so. That is the reason why we are making this push on a daily basis. So before we start the program, as usual, we play our beautiful Yoruba anthem that has now been adopted by the by all our governors, even though most of them are criminals anyway. So, but at least Washati adopted. Let's listen to this while I set up, the last part of the platform, and we can kickstart the discussion. So what are we discussing this morning? I'm going to say good morning to everyone that have joined us. We are discussing our youth development program will transform our nation, not Nigeria. Because your youth development will transform Nigeria. There's nothing called Nigeria, okay? Yes, we are born inside Nigeria, but it used to be Yoruba before Nigeria. As we said yesterday, ìwé ìròyìn was established in 1859. That is about 55 years. You know, I can't remember how Yoruba people called 55. So to calculate between 1859 to 1914, that's 55 years difference. Níbo Nigeria wà nígbà yẹn. So don't die for Nigeria, okay? Many people have died for Nigeria that many people will never be remembered. Even MKO Abiola died. Agbotomo Ekonso nisin pé the MKO Abiola children are struggling to buy medication. Imagine the legend, the philanthropist, MKO Abiola, àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ struggle láti fi ọwọ́ lọ sẹ́nu. Ẹ káàárọ̀ gbogbo ènìyàn, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ ilé mọ́ ń bọ́ mọ́ tí dé. Mo ti rí comment ìyá mi dáadáa. I have a lot of backup. Márùnléláàádọ́ta 55 years. Tẹ́ bá wo program tí mo ṣe lọ́sàn. You have to catch up with what I do on this platform. I know it's a lot, but you have to catch up. That is the only way lè máa follow the analysis tá à ń ṣe lójoojúmọ́, because many Yoruba people mọ ibi tá a tẹ̀ wà tẹ́lẹ̀. Yes, obviously in Nigeria, but kò sí Nigeria as at 1850. The ìwé ìròyìn was founded in around 1850 or thereabout. Yeah. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria prior before that time. And we were able to look at it yesterday on the site called Historyville. Ìwé ìròyìn, kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Nigerian first newspaper. It's a crime. Olórí burúkú làwọn òyìnbó. Peter Pan mo kí ẹ, Ṣeun Lawal, bàbá mi Iyọlá Adédoyin, àǹtí mi Bukky, mo rí yín náà lórí Instagram, Tokyo 778. Má jẹ́ kó fúlẹ̀ pé Nàìjíríà kankan, Nàìjíríà ò fowó. Mo kí ẹ Bọ́lájí, brother mi Ìdòwú. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀. Kò ń ṣe bí ti Tinubu. Yorùbá máa pín kúrò lára Nàìjíríà. Kódà bẹ́ẹ̀ mi mímọ́ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, by fire by force, ìlú yẹn máa pín. Bí Pastor Adeboye pray fún Nàìjíríà, Nàìjíríà máa pín. Bí ìyá àdúrà kó pray fún Nàìjíríà, Nàìjíríà máa pín. Bó bá wọn ìmáàmù Ọ̀fà kó pray fún Nàìjíríà, kó bá wọn babaláwo kó ṣàdúrà, Nàìjíríà máa pín. Inshallah, lágbára Jésù Kristi, lágbára àwọn tó ní ilẹ̀ wa. So ìwé ìròyìn wọ́n ní Nigerian first newspaper. Kí ló ń jẹ́ Nàìjíríà? Àwọn olùṣọ́ lórí burúkú. Bó ṣe sọ fún wa pé Bongo Park ló find the River Niger ni. Máa jẹ́ kó máa tàn ẹ́. Mo ń bọ̀ mọ̀ tí ìdẹ́jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́n tí bàbá ìsọ lẹ́ǹkan sí. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ọlọ́run ti pin níjọ́ àná bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ibẹ̀ náà dédé máa padà sí lágbára Elédùmarè. Mo kí Professor Adebanji Akintoye, àwọn ni leader, kò ń ṣe fún gbogbo ìran Yorùbá o. Àìmọye àwọn bàbá òfò tó ti fi Nàìjíríà jẹun títí. Àwọn bàbá ìkà, àwọn ìyá ìkà, àwọn bàbá òfò tó ti fi Nàìjíríà. Àwọn politics ìbàtàmàlà. Mo kí bàbá mi Ayẹni Adégbóyè Phillips. Ẹniọlá Olúwaṣe, mo kí yín. Ọlọ́run fún wa ní èdè, ó fún wa ní àṣà, ó fún wa ní ìtàn pè ní ọgbọ́n. Wọ́n náà wá dá ìwé kan sílẹ̀, ìwé ìròyìn ló ń pè ní 1859. Mo kí ẹ Ablish 2011. Ibi báyìí ò ń ṣe ibi tó ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ okó àtòbò. Tó bá ń wá ibi tó ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ okó àtòbò, wà á lọ sí platform yẹn. Tó bá wá ibi tó ti ń ṣe fracas yẹn wà, oríṣiríṣi platform ló wà lórí social media. Tó bá ti wá síbí báyìí, ọ̀rọ̀ bá ṣe máa gbára wa kúrò lọ́wọ́ àwọn amúnisìn. Ìlú òyìnbó lèmi wà. Mo ní láti wálé. Ibi báyìí ló ti dá wàhálà sílẹ̀. Ibi báyìí náà láti máa pinlẹ̀, tá máa pin kúrò tolúkálukú máa lọ́nlọ́ ẹ̀. Bó bá àwọn British kọ́ dá sí, bó bá àwọn America kọ́ máa dá sí, tásìkò bá tó wọ́n ní tíyàn bá lọ toilet tó bá fẹ́ yàgbẹ́, ìgbẹ́ yẹn máa jáde, ọmọ tuntun máa jáde. Mo kí ẹ Mr. Perry, safety domain, leaders that are leading Yoruba to destruction. Àwọn bàbá òfò, àwọn ìyá olórí burúkú, politics ìbàtàmàlà tẹ́ ń ṣe. Simple ra yẹn mo kí ẹ̀yàn tèmi. Ẹ bá wa pín. Ìbẹ́ bá lọ sí service náà máa ní kẹ́ pín. Ìbí náà máa ń wà lórí church service. Tó bá dé stage kan, pastor yẹn máa ní share the link. Kò dẹ̀ sí tọ́lọ́run dá, kò sẹ́ni tọ́lọ́run dá tó lè mú. Ó máa mú yín lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Bó wù yín kẹ́ra bulletproof car àwọn alálẹ̀ máa la mọ́tò yẹn, á la mọ́gi kú dànù. Ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú tó ń fìyà jẹ gbogbo wa. Àwa ń sá káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. Èyí tó sọnù ní gbogbo àná wá 24 years ní UK. Èyí tó sọnù. Mo kí ẹ coach Adigun Daniel, kábọ̀ sórí ètò. Ó ní Nàìjíríà ti tán, ìlú olórí burúkú. Ilé ìwé ìròyìn tá dá sílẹ̀ ní 1859. Táwọn tó dá sílẹ̀ níjọ́ náà lọ́wọ́ ọmọ tó ń ṣe. Bàbá mi sùn lódò, mo kí yín yáre. You die for Nigeria in vain. Wàá kọ̀ kú dànù. Ọlọ́run bá foríjì Rashidi Yekini. Afẹ́lẹ́ máa rántí pé bàbá kan wà tán pè ní Rashidi Yekini. Àìmọye bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Samuel Okparaji. Ìwọ náà máa dárúkọ. Àná MKO Abiola, ọmọ MKO Abiola ó ti jáde. Ó ní olórí burúkú ní Kọ́lá. A máa sọ̀rọ̀ olùfàǹṣà díẹ̀ lálẹ́ kó lè bá yé ẹ. Ó ń ṣe kíbọ̀rọ̀ kí pẹ̀lú ọmọ Babangida nígbà tí wọ́n bàbá ẹ̀ wà níbi tó ti bàbá ẹ̀ mọ̀. Olórí burúkú Kọ́lá Abiola. Ó ní kò tí ì lè manage affairs MKO Abiola. Ó náà fi ṣe president Nàìjíríà. Ọmọ òfò, ọmọ àdánù, ọmọ tó yẹ kó ti nígbà tó lóyún ẹ̀ tó yẹ kó ti flush ẹ̀ dànù. Ẹ̀wọ̀n MKO Abiola. Àbó ìtì gbọ́ interview yẹn. Ṣé o ìtì gbọ́, ṣé n play fún ẹ kó lè bá gbọ́? O ìtì gbọ́ àbí? O gbọ́ pé ọmọ Abiola ti jáde. Ó ní olórí burúkú ní Kọ́lá Abiola o. Olórí burúkú gbáà ni. Ọmọ òfò. Ó ní kò ṣe tó yẹ kó ṣe. Ẹ ṣe gan ni ìyá mi Jọkẹ́ Bọ́dúnrin. Wọ́n ní 55 years mean 45. Níbo ni Nàìjíríà wà nígbà náà tó fi pa àwọn tọ̀nà ọkú 12 fún Nàìjíríà. I'm going to fix Nigeria. Ọ̀rẹ́ mi ṣọ̀tọ̀ lọ. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ní kí n má bù yín mọ́. Fix Nigeria. Àná MKO Abiola, Kọ́lá Abiola lórí burúkú ọmọ àlè. Wọ́n ló ń ṣe kíbọ̀rọ̀ kì pẹ̀lú ọmọ Babangida nígbà tó ti bàbá ẹ̀ wọ́n lé. Ọmọ òfò, ọmọ àdánù. Olórí burúkú awítán. Ó náà wà tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation ká gbẹ́nu dákẹ́. Orí bọ́ ṣe pa bàbá ẹ̀ dànù. Babangida pa bàbá ẹ̀. Bí Babangida ṣe pa Délégiwá náà ló pa bàbá ẹ̀ dànù. Pẹ̀lú àwọn òyìnbó lórí burúkú, àwọn olòṣì tó fi jẹ́ kí Abiola débẹ̀. Wọ́n mọ̀ kí Abiola bá débẹ̀, á ṣèrè kankan ṣe. Tinubu ti débẹ̀ nísìn, ẹ̀rí bọ́ ṣe dẹ́kun ẹ̀ mú. Ẹnu ni gbogbo àjọ wà yẹn. Mo kí Abiola King. Jagaban, wọ́n ti so ẹkùn ẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀. Ẹkùn Tinubu ti so mọ́lẹ̀. Mo kí Adéwùnmí, Adénípẹ̀kun, mo kí yín. Fix Nigeria. Nàìjíríà tó tọ́jú bàbá ẹ̀ tí bàbá ẹ̀ fi dákẹ́ tó fi dákẹ́ láyé ní General Hospital. Wọ́n ti bàbá ẹ̀ káàkiri ni. Gbé bàbá yẹn, bàbá. ìlú Ìkẹrẹ nísìn àgbàlagbà bá yàgbẹ́ a máa tọ́jú ẹ̀ torí pé wọ́n máa sanwó fún ẹ. Ìyẹn ló ń pè ní iṣẹ́ tó fi wá ṣe London nìyẹn, tó fi ń fún yín ní COS nìyẹn. Irú èmi ní option, kò ń ṣe dandan ni kí n ṣe irú iṣẹ́ yẹn, but ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gba COS, iṣẹ́ wa tọ́jú àgbàlagbà. Àgbàlagbà bá yàgbẹ́ wá wẹ̀ fún wa, wá núra fún. Mo pàdé ọmọ kan lórí bọ́ọ̀sì níjọ́ ní gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ ló ń sọ lórí bọ́ọ̀sì, kò mọ̀ ìtàn sọ lórí bọ́ọ̀sì. Ó ti ń calculate hours tó ṣe 33 hours. Èmi ò nídìí COS, ìgbà ilé mi ń gbé. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bọ̀ lẹ́ nídìí COS, àwọn ò nídìí COS. Bóhùn mi mo lè lọ ṣiṣẹ́ cleaning, but wọ́n ti lock ẹ̀yin. Òyìnbó ní ẹ fẹ́ wá ṣiṣẹ́, wọ́n ti lock yín mọ́ one particular area. Ó bá ka ìwé látòkè délẹ̀, iṣẹ́ kíá ló ń bọ̀ wá ṣe nílùú òyìnbó. Ẹ gbọ́ nǹkan tó Abiola sọ. Lóde tó jáde.
With those same people who said that they were going to kill Abiola. I don't understand how David Mark became the Senate president and we're saying we're the democracy. Abdul Salam can come and talk about, he's talking about peace and peaceful elections. What does he not understand about peaceful elections? People have died in this 30 years. I'm talking Abiola children who could not buy
medication. Oh, they are medicine. MK Abiola.
The Abiola family were not that much because people are thinking that we're
55.
My father was alive. He was paying for 103 children to go to school. But like I said, none of all of them were. So after the blood test, we happened to be 55. Are you in a good relationship with Kola? Last time I saw him, he said, and I will quote his words, do I want to do fire for fire? And I asked him, I wonder how he thought he could be president. He cannot manage Abiola Empire. How do you want to manage Nigeria? He could have been a voice. He could have been a strong voice of true democratic value. He could have. He chose not to. Apparently, at the time, my father was still in jail. He was having relations with Babangida daughter. So you're still with...
ọmọ òfò wọ́n ti bàbá ẹ̀ mọ́lé, ó ń ṣe jìgìjìgì pẹ̀lú ọmọ Babangida. Ó ń lágbìn bí àṣà Yorùbá wòye. Ìgbín ló ń lá. Olórí burúkú ọmọ àlè. Ṣọ́mọlélẹ̀. Ìyẹn ilé ìkọ́nà ìyẹn Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá. Ẹ rántí pé ó sọ̀rọ̀ sí àwa Yorùbá nation. Àti wá àṣírí ti wá tú nísìn. Ìgbín lọ́nà ńlá. Ọmọ ìyẹn ni wọ́n wá ń dúró. Wọ́n náà wọ́n MKO Abíọ́lá MKO. O mẹ́ni tó ń pè lẹ́ MKO. Tó o bá mọ̀ jẹ́ fojú MKO wọn. Wọ́n náà wọ́n mọ òrówó ra ògùn. Ìyẹn ni wọ́n wá náà fi fix Nigeria. That is how they destroy Yoruba people. Ṣèbí bọ́ ṣe destroy gbogbo ohun tí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe náà nìyẹn. Mo kí ẹ Òkè Káyọ̀dé. MKO tó bá ń lọ Amẹ́ríkà kò ní láti sọ fún wọn. Àtinú plane lọ ti máa ṣí signal fún pé máa bọ̀ à ń retí ẹ̀. Ó wá kú tán nísìn. Wọ́n náà wọ́n mọ ẹ̀ struggle wọ òrówó ra ògùn. Ìwọ wa ń gbàdúrà Ọlọ́run jẹ́ òrówó ra ògùn ní Nàìjíríà. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ Nàìjíríà dá o. Jà tó gbọ́n táfà yẹn sọ lẹ́ǹkan sí mo ṣe ń set up Twitter space ká lè gbé gbogbo èèyàn wọlé. Bóhun ẹ̀ kò gbọ́, bóhun ẹ̀ kò má gbọ́. Bọ̀ lórí platform yìí wà á gbọ́ tipátipá. Òun dúró de káwọn Linda Ìkejì sọ fún ẹ pé Nàìjíríà máa dá. Òun dúró de àwọn influencer yẹn lórí social media, àwọn olùṣe lórí burúkú, àwọn àdánù èèyàn. Àwọn yẹn ló máa sọ fún ẹ pé Nàìjíríà. Òun dúró de Túndé Ednut kó sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ibi tóun ti ń jẹun lòun ti ń ṣe yẹn. Fìdí kan pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation. Máa dúró de àwọn yẹn. Máa dúró de wọn. Wọ́n bọ̀ wọ́n sọ fún ẹ pé Nàìjíríà máa dá. Wọ́n ń bọ̀. Ìyà jẹ ṣégèsè lára. Ẹgbọ́n sókè bàbá. Kí lẹ sọ? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Àbòsí la fi sọra wa pọ̀, Ọlọ́run ò pa wá pọ̀. Solúṣọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí kó ní kálukú ọmọ bá tiẹ̀ lọ. Kí Yorùbá dúró tiẹ̀ kó padà sórí ilẹ̀ bàbá rẹ̀ kó lè máa gbé nǹkan tiẹ̀. Káwùsá náà padà sáàyè tiẹ̀ àti Fúlàní. Kí Ìgbò náà padà sáàyè tiẹ̀. Ta ni sọ fún wa pé yọ jẹ wá? Ta ló sọ fún wa pé yọ jẹ Yorùbá bí Yorùbá bá dá dúró? Ìwọ nìyà ọjẹ. Ìwọ tó ń gbèrò rẹ̀ nìyà ọjẹ, ìran rẹ̀ nìyà ọjẹ, yóò ṣe àjẹ wa. Ìyà ọjẹ wa bọ̀ látànáta tí ń bá bọ̀, yóò ṣe àjẹ á lónìí. Ìyà ò lè jẹ wá o. Ibi ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run ní kẹ́ ẹ padà sí bọ́lọ́run ti pín níjọ́ kìíní àná.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ padà síbi tọ́rọ̀ Ọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀yin òṣèlú yẹn Ọlọ́run á mú yín. Kò rí wọn Elédùmarè á mú yín, á pa gbogbo yín dànù torí ìkà nìyín. Mo ń bọ̀ mo ti dé. I'm sure pé tí máa rí fídíò yìí ẹ lè má tí ì rí tẹ́lẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n kàn play kí n wá play anthem lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Ẹ ṣáà rọ ọlọ́pàá tí Fúlàní ẹ ṣáà ti rí lè gbogbo ilẹ̀ ṣe rí. Fúlàní ni o wọ́n ti gbàgbọ́n lọ wọ́n ti gbàgbọ́n lọ wọ́n ti gbàgbọ́n lọ lọ́nà ṣòro ni o àwọn ti gbàgbọ́n lọ ní àwọn tó kù ńkọ́ àwọn tó kù ti yà dànù nígbà tí Fúlàní ìyá mi Jọkẹ́ ní Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá ọmọ òfò ọmọ àdánù sọmọ nìyẹn ìgbín ló ńlá wọ́n ti bàbá ẹ̀ mọ́lé àwọn Yorùbá wọ́n dẹ̀ ti mọ̀ pàwọ́ Yorùbá bá ti fún ẹ lówó wọ́n dẹ̀ ti gbọ́bìnrin ilé lọ́wọ́ Ifá dìdí sọ fèmí ni Ifá ó dìdí ó wọ̀n ní mi àwọn wòlíì pè mí àáfàá pè mí pé obìnrin ni kò sá fún nínú ìrìn àjò yìí tó wàá mú ẹ mọ́lẹ̀ tó bá ti ń wá tó ti ń bẹ sọ̀rọ̀ kinní kan tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tètè já dànù nǹkan mi ló ń wá tó bá ti di pé ẹ ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó ti ń mọ́rọ̀ lọ síbòmí tó ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá disconnect ẹ̀ ṣe pé àǹtí máa ń pè yín padà torí bó ṣe máa ràn wọ́n wá nìyẹn ìbẹ́ obìnrin lọ́ fi mú Solomon ó dìdí sọ pé mi wọ́n wọ̀n ní mi ní 3 years ago religion mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta lọ́ pè mí pé lórí ìrìn àjò yìí o obìnrin ni kò sá fún nígbà tó ti láwọn ìyàwó tó da tó ń tọ́jú ẹ̀ má tún jẹ́ kọ́mọ kan wá bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ máa di pé olórí burúkú ọmọ Abíọ́lá ọmọ òfò mo kí bàbá mi Ahmed Jamil Adékúnlé mo máa ń gbádùn kọ́mẹ́ǹtì yín kọ́ba Elédùmarè bá ń dúró tì yín àwọn bàbá tó ní ọpọlọ àwọn tó ń wo future lọ́la ìwé ẹlẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ wà fix Nàìjíríà Samson àti Dahali obìnrin mo kí yín ẹ̀yin ìyá wa kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín ẹgẹ́ ń fi tv mi kí n máa wo ohun tó ń lọ mẹ́rin mo láìkì ohun bàbá láìkì ohun yẹn ni ẹ jẹ́ agbóhùn yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí káwá play àǹtẹ̀ má bínú sọ́lọ́ lọ́wọ́ ìgbéyàwó sọ́lọ́.
ọlọ́ni mo ṣe yín ní ìran wákọ̀ báyìí láhùn ẹ̀tún lágbóolé kálukú lọ́mọ̀ràn tiẹ̀ kálukú lágbóolé tiẹ̀ lè tààrà fún kẹ́lẹ́ bá dára yín mà ọlọ́run ò pa wá pọ̀ àbòsí la fi fọ́ra wá pọ̀ ọlọ́run ò pa wá pọ̀.
kò wá ń ṣàwà la ṣàbòsí yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá is eating ìgbé tó níran tó bá ti lábáyà tó já olùṣe ọmọ òfò àwítán ní káwa shut up àwa tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation àṣegbìn ló ń lá káàkiri àwọn the same people tó gba Délégi wá àwọn ló gbègbè fún àwọn ọmọ Fúlàní ló lọ ń ládìí wọn olùṣe lórí burúkú ọmọ àlè àwa kọ́ la para wa pọ̀ òyìnbó ló pa wá pọ̀ ó yá ẹgbọ́n òsókè iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa forílẹ̀ ibi wa kàgbéga 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 fàlẹ́rì ìgbàgbọ́ wà ní pé bàtí bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira nìkẹ́jẹ́ ká máa lépa ìtẹ̀síwájú fọ́pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ ìwọ ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Bàbá mi Adéwùnmí Adénípẹ̀kun wọ́n ní useless son òun rẹ̀ kó jáde kó yẹ kó dúró fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ pa bàbá mi nígbà àṣọ ti gbégbin ni lọ́wọ́ kò lè sọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ òfò. mo kí yín bẹ ṣe ń darapọ̀ mọ́ orí ètò yìí Ẹniọlá ní sir please I would like if we can undercloth òyìnbó yẹn lágbára ẹ má dà mí lórí rú láàárọ̀ ẹ bá ń tún kọ́ mọ́ ìtẹ́kọ́ yẹn ò yé mi ajú wọn ló wá fẹ́ mi mo kí yín. So as usual ẹ ti rí topic màá ka gbogbo tí bàbá Akintoye kọ síbẹ̀ ó lè jẹ́ 1 page mo tí ì kà tẹ́lẹ̀ a dẹ̀ tún máa ṣe audio ẹ̀ jáde náà so that a lè easy fún àwọn tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ máa gbọ́ nínú audio. So n ti máa ṣe nísìnyí pé kí n tó lọ sórí live ti Twitter màá rìkọ́dì n tí mo fẹ́ kà so that a ṣe pín síta. So torí kò ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ní access láti ra internet wọ́n ti make ẹ̀kọ́ wá expensive olórí burúkú ni wọ́n mọ̀ ní ìkà lọ́ fi ń ṣe fún yín. pálọ̀ yìí ni mo sùn sí látọ̀sùn bẹ́ẹ̀ tó lóyún ni tó bá yẹ pé obìnrin ni mí ni ìyàwó mi àmá ni mo ti lóyún ó bẹ̀ mí títí mo dá wọn lóhùn gbogbo wọn fi lọ sókè ó fi mí sílẹ̀ ní pálọ̀ ni kó tó bá yẹ wá dìde wá sókè Mumbo. You don't like it practical. Sorry. Ṣìbí ti jábọ́ lẹ́lẹ́. Sorry, intọ́sẹ̀ fún mi. Intọ́ṣe lálẹ́ àná. Sorry. Mo tí ì jẹ tèmi. Sorry, òun lélẹ̀. Òun. Ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá. Ebi ò pa wá nílùú òyìnbó. Ọ̀rọ̀ mi ò yẹ. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ńbẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́yìn náà rí dáadáa. Mo ń bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ n yọ kúrò nínú. Ẹ jẹ́ n fi sí plain. Ìwọ lebi ń pa. Ebi ò pẹ́ tó wà nílùú òyìnbó. Ọ̀rọ̀ ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá. In tó ń ṣe wájú ọ̀rọ̀ ebi lọ. Sorry. Mo mọ àwọn ṣàmàṣàmà, chicken, tomato, ata. Èlò ló ń ta ata lọ́dọ̀ yín nísìn. Má tètè darapọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá Nation. Ká lè tètè ní ayé tó dáa. Sorry. Èmi ò tí jẹ bí a mo bá wá parí program mi tètè bá pa mí, màá rólẹ̀ mọ́ bread. Ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá. Ebi kọ́ ló ń pa. In tó ń ṣe wájú ọ̀rọ̀ ebi lọ. 24 years nílùú òyìnbó ó ti súyàn àfi padà wálé. Má ní kí n wá nísìnyàn. Ní basic amenities. Bí wọ́n bá fi yàgbẹ́ nísìnyí tí bá wà níjẹ̀bú òde bá flush kò omi gidi òde jáde. Ó bá yá gbogbo ọmọ wake up. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Ká wọnú ètò lọ. A rí pé tí bá ti sùn tí bá ti jí bẹ́ẹ̀ egungun mi máa ń le ni. Àwọn beats mi ni energy mi ni ẹ̀rọ bó ṣe ń wò mí. Òfin náà mi lẹ́gbàá. Ṣé èmi ni Yàyà Bello tó jí owó? Ṣé èmi ni Yàyà Bello àbí èmi ni Dino? Ẹ̀rí gbogbo àwọn senator yẹn tí mo kó jáde bí ọmọ ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ. Bí ṣe máa kó wọn jáde nìyẹn. Gbogbo àwọn senator yẹn máa dárúkọ wọn lójú. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí n tún rántí lálẹ́ ìka tó parí program. Gbogbo wọn ni máa dárúkọ. Mo kí Akim Salami. Bàbá mi Káyọ̀dé ni teacher, we are waiting for the lecture. Jẹ́ ká sáré wọnú ètò. So mo máa record ẹ̀ náà. So ẹ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ lọ mú. So interfaith discourse, our youth development program will transform our nation. Kò ń ṣe Nàìjíríà o. So page 29. Then àwa máa ṣe oríṣiríṣi analysis lé lórí. So mo ti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú oríṣiríṣi àsíá. Ìyẹn ló máa ń jẹ́ kétò dùn. Wọ́n ní all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. So ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wá interfaith discourse lé lórí. Page 29 ló wà. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde àti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní last week. We will revive and strengthen our education yẹn la ṣe ní last week. Our youth development program will transform our nation. So mo fẹ́ record ẹ̀ náà. So tí bá ti ń kà síta. Àwa Mùsùlùmí á ní Bismillah. Àwọn Kristẹni á ní in Jesus name. Àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe á ní àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè. Ó yá. Our youth development program will transform our nation. In the opinion of the most Yoruba people, the most damaging impact of Nigeria on our Yoruba nation is Nigeria's impact on Yoruba children and youth. In Yoruba culture, children and youth are highly valued as the most important asset of every family and of society, and as the pillar of future strength and prosperity. Consequently, Yoruba people devote more attention and resources to proper development of the children than most other peoples do. In modern times, when Western education has become the surest means of rising in society, Yoruba parents have commonly put enormous resources on school education for their children, often selling homes and other valuable assets for school fees and college fees, even to the totally illiterate Yoruba parents. Helping the children through the school is the most important life pursuit in our time. Nigeria has seriously hurt this highly cherished Yoruba agenda of child and youth development in two painful ways. First, under the leadership of a people, the Fulani, who despairs and fear Western education. The quality of education has been made to fall steadily at all levels in all parts of Nigeria, including Yoruba land, to the great sadness of Yoruba people. Increasing numbers of Yoruba families are responding by avoiding the public schools, where education has seriously deteriorated, and finding the money to send their children to private schools, which are usually more expensive, but where education is better. Secondly, because of the federal government destruction of the development, energy, and momentum of the Yoruba Western region in 1962 to 1965, and because of the relentless decline of the whole Nigerian economy since then, unemployment has become a major character of Nigerian society. Nigeria's unemployment rate is one of the highest in the world today. And Yoruba society is terribly devastated by this massive unemployment. In the far north of Nigeria, where there is almost no attention to education, Nigeria's anti-education posture has created an enormous class of poor youths, consisting of millions of youth who have acquired no schooling and no skills, the class known as the Alimajiri, who are the poorest group of people in the world and who spend their whole lives as beggars in the streets. In the Yoruba southwest of Nigeria, where all children go to school, the high rate of unemployment has hit the masses of educated Yoruba youth abominably. Hundreds of thousands of educated youth, many of them with different levels of university degrees, have for decades been milling around in Yoruba town and cities, their numbers increasing year by year. Annually, huge numbers of these educated youth find ways to obtain visas to flee to other countries. Many find ways to flee abroad as illegal immigrants. Many even try to reach Europe via the Sahara Desert and over the Mediterranean Sea. There are constant reports that many of these are dying in the desert and perishing in the Mediterranean Sea, or that some are being enslaved in the countries of the North Africa. In spite of such reports, more and more Yoruba youth are still regularly heading to the desert and the Mediterranean. Consequently, Yoruba migrants are found today in probably all countries of the world. For the very many ones who somehow cannot flee abroad, their lot at home is serious poverty and deprivation, frequent economic dependence on their poor parents, occasionally begging, occasionally life as poor regarded attendants of politicians, inability to marry and start raising families of their own, membership of criminal courts or internet crime gangs, hopelessness and shame. In these many ways, the youth of our Yoruba nation have been robbed of personal dignity and national moral orientation. The Yoruba nation is being dangerously bleed and degraded, and the future of the Yoruba nation is being very seriously in peril. In our new country, as we start seriously improving our educational system, we shall embark also very seriously on establishing a national youth program for the empowerment and the elevation of our youth. We shall learn from the example of the country of Singapore in the South Asian. Up to 1965, Singapore was one of the member states of the Federation of Malaysia. Singapore was a terribly poor island. It had no resources, no land for agriculture, no forest, no forest resources, no mineral resources, and it even had to pipe its domestic water supply from other provinces on the mainland. In addition, Singapore's youth, most of them little educated, were a serious problem because they were unemployed. Many of them were involved in crimes, and large crowds of them were frequently rioting in the street. Finally, in 1965, the government of the Federation of Malaysia decided that the Federation could not continue to face the problem of Singapore, and therefore granted Singapore the freedom to separate from the Federation and become a sovereign country. In short, Singapore was expelled from the Federation. So suddenly, without any preparation, without any resources, and with our youth rioting in the street, Singapore became an independent country in the world. Singapore's situation was so terrible that a Singaporean leader who had to announce this sudden change to his people by radio was heard sobbing as he made the announcement. At one point, the announcement, he said, sobbing, "This is a day of anguish for Singapore and for me." Fortunately for Singapore's leader decided that the only available path forward for their country was to seriously develop their youth. Therefore, Singapore decided to invest all energy on a great youth development program, which, number one, provided skills training for all the youth in all occupations, from simple occupations like hairdressing, nursing, cooking, restaurant services, etc., to higher occupations like masonry, carpentry, roofing, plumbing, entertainment, etc., to still higher technological occupations like motor vehicle repairs, electrical installation, plumbing, metal fabrication, etc., to still higher educations like import and export management, building construction management, business promotion, etc., to the highest technological occupations like computer assembly and repairs, printing, publishing, product design, manufacturing, accountancy, etc. Number two, devote serious emphasis on training all the youth to be responsible and proud employees in whatever jobs they were employed. Number three, provided entrepreneurial education and training for youth who, after acquiring skills, desire to start and manage businesses of their own. Number four, create a well-managed package of financial assistance, small businesses loans, businesses counseling assistance, and other kinds of assistance to new small businesses. Singapore then offered attractive incentives to foreign investors in order to attract them to come to invest in capital, establish business in Singapore, and thus boost employment opportunities for Singapore's youth. It all worked wonderfully. Singapore's youth acquired skills in countless occupations, were trained to be competent and loyal employees, became highly desired employees. They are developed among Singapore's youth a culture of excellence at work, a culture of strong loyalty to employers, and a culture of seeking higher skills in order to get promotion at work. Many of them who acquire skills started small businesses of their own. The National Small Business Loans plus the business counseling assistance to the new and small businesses helped most of the businesses to succeed. Major foreign investors, learning of Singapore's incentive to investment and of Singapore's skills and competent employees, brought their investment of businesses to Singapore, and employment opportunities soared. Singapore developed a program of ensuring that Singapore's export would be of high quality and that made Singapore's product highly acceptable in the world market. Singapore became a major exporter of various products. As its economy grew rapidly, Singapore was able to devote resources on infrastructural and allied development, roads, ports, airports, airline, shipping building, shipping businesses, electrical installation, water supply installation, ambitious housing estate. By 1975, Singapore's economy was rated as one of the most successful economies in the world. Singapore became known worldwide as the Asian success model. In 1976, our father, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, sent one of his young Yoruba intellectuals to go and see the miracle that was happening in Singapore and to write a report on it. Papa then had the Singapore development model incorporated into his party's grand plan for the development of Nigeria. But as we remember, in 1979, our father's bid for the chance to develop Nigeria was fraudulently rejected through the rigging of the 1979 presidential election. And now we know better. We know that Nigeria is impossible to develop, and that nobody can develop Nigeria. Happily, we decided to separate our Yoruba nation from Nigeria. So in our new country, our Orile-ede Yoruba, we shall benefit from the Singapore Youth Development Model and the Singapore's other development programs, and also go into other development programs that we have the resources for, and that Singapore did not and does not have the resources for. We shall go into modern agriculture, including specialized organic and export farming. We shall borrow agricultural method from the Israel kibbutz system and create a youth farm communities which we shall call Ileto, each of which will be able to protect and defend itself competently. We shall go seriously into agricultural product processing, marketing and export, into design and manufacture of agricultural tools and machinery, modern livestock, ranching and meat export, dairy farming, dairy product export, mining and minerals refining and export, wood product processing and export, various traditional specialty industry like tie and dye and other traditional fabric product, bronze casting, various wood and rant product, etc. for exporting. We shall offer attractive incentives to investors and businesses in order to encourage investment and businesses ventures by our own people and to attract investment and businesses from the outside world. We shall offer attractive incentives to our youths in the diaspora, including particularly those who are resided abroad in high-tech jobs or in high-tech experience or connections, to return home and use their knowledge, job expertise, and their connections to create for our country a strong share in the world's high-tech industries and high-tech supply chains, including but not limited to semiconductor, electric vehicles, solar energy technology, drone technology, etc. These are fields in which our country can quickly catch up with the world's leaders, fields that will help our country to grow rapidly, to avoid the middle income trap, and to quickly transform into high-income economy. Altogether, we can and we shall develop our country much faster than the people of Singapore developed theirs, because our country is much larger in territory and population and much more endowed with varied natural resources and with educated human resources. What Singapore achieved in about 8 to 10 years, our Orile-ede Yoruba can achieve it 4 to 6 years. We shall quickly create a surging national economy that will attract Yoruba youth back home from all corners of the world to come and contribute to and share in the rapid growing prosperity, greatness of their own country. This is coming from Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the good news, path to prosperity in our Orile-ede Yoruba. Èwo lo gbọ́ nínú ẹ̀ kí n ṣàlàyé. Mo kí bàbá mi Tíò Adéṣínà. Thank you so much. Ìyá mi Fatima, salamu alaikum. Lux Rao Vlogs, thank you. Talile, let's discuss issue. Leave Singapore. Orí òpè lórí platform yìí, idiot. Bí lè ṣe darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ni. Ìjáyà mo kí ẹ. Mo kí bàbá mi Theophilus. Don't come here and talk nonsense on my platform. Discuss issue. Eléyìí tí mo ń discuss kò ṣe issue. Eléyìí tí mo ń discuss kò ṣe issue. Mo kí ẹ brother mi Waris Jinadu. Yoruba individual state countries possible like Singapore. A mini lecturer, you slow down and listen. Let's discuss issue. Which issue? Which issue are we discussing? So all I started reading, I think I issue. Just come on platform and talk nonsense. Don't talk nonsense on this platform. More shy so quick. You can stress me maybe by take you out. And sorrow nǹkan tí bàbá Akintoye ní ká kà síta. Only let's talk issue. Let's leave Singapore. Ọgbọ́n lọ́gbọ́n kọ́ lọ́nìyàn máa fi ṣọgbọ́n. Come on the platform, you slow down, you listen. Bàbá tí wọ́n yín dé náà lẹ́ mọ́mọ́. Ìyàn kan ṣèpè mí láti Brazil. Inú wọn dùn bí kinní ni pé gbà olólóyè lè wá sí Brazil. and sọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan tó important ń sọ̀rọ̀ let's leave Singapore. Ṣé Nàìjíríà ni kí n máa fi wé ni? Mo kí yín jàre gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́. So that was 14 minutes, and tó bá ti bá pàdé, it has now been converted into audio. Please, mo kí yín Mayor Brown plus, mo kí yín. Ibo ni ìyá yẹn tẹ́ wà? Ìyá Brown àbí kí ló máa ń pè rẹ̀ nígbà yẹn tó wà ní Dublin, àwọn ìyá òfò, àwọn ìyá tó da Yorùbá nation láàrin méjì, tó náà òun ṣíra sí wòwò, òun ṣépè fún bàbá àti ìyá ẹ̀. Ayọ̀ Brown, níbo l'Ayọ̀ Brown wà? Mo kì í ẹni Ọlọ́run dá don't mind that person o. Àwọn tó máa distract èèyàn. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ ní tí mò ń ka oníká fi Singapore sílẹ̀. So gbogbo tí mo kà látẹ̀kan ìyẹn nìkan lẹ mú jáde. Mo kí gbogbo yín. We've read that. So what is going to happen till Sunday? We'll be discussing all kind of areas in that particular discussion. So what we tend to do is, since what came out of that particular discussion, because I actually went back, so I want to bring it back again close to me. Moki Ubonyo, good morning. Mr. Abiodun Wasi, good morning. I am just doing my own job, just like Bento Fedosi Bishenon. So, the more worry with Koikia, Tisum, Tibalo Shishe night, Obodo Sanwo Fumi. So, doing this for the Yoruba people is a great joy for me. I've served the British for 24 years. I've been living here since 1998, Omako 25 years. In fact, working here night, day, time, whatever. So, but for now, we are serving our people and we are pleased and happy about it. Yeah. So, the topic is our youth development program. Don't expect any outcome from Nigeria to develop any youth program. The other day I saw Dayo Israel. And they're thinking and discussing the future of the youth in Nigeria. All this criminal, youth politician, Dayo Israel. Very intelligent guy. But not if the president, not if the governor, not if the senator. Jamesoke politics. So, most importantly, looking at this, what Baba Akintoye wrote in this particular slide, because slide, we're dealing with it every week. You realize that a lot of things came out of it. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, Baba Akintoye jẹ́ kó yé wa pé kò sí ìdílé kan tí kò fi rán ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ sí school in Yoruba land. Even the poorest among us, actually fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ tẹ̀ lọ kà títí dé primary school, because wọ́n mọ̀ pé that is the step, that is the beginning of a journey. Kí lẹ wá rò pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀? What went wrong? Mo kí Yami Taiwo Kíkẹ́ ẹ̀ka Roma. Mr. Samson O. Adebisi on Dublin, Shatabando, Ayọ̀ Brown, ó ti sá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Ayọ̀mí Okúndámíjù, ìyá òfò yẹn, Ayọ̀ Brown, ìyá jagbajagba, ó náà ṣíra sí wòwò ń ṣépè fún Baba Akintoye. Earthmen are still operating on the ground. No, they're not even operating on the ground, they're operating openly. Mo kí bàbá mi Simon Adebisi, the Earthmen, don't pè ní Fulani, they're operating on a daily basis. Ẹni tó kàn ló mọ̀, kọ́lọ́n kó ṣàánú wa, kọ́lọ́n má yẹ kó jí wa gbé. Brother mi Adéwùnmí, and I'm reading most of your comments tonight, so it's a bit relaxed program, so kò ń ṣe tí máa face era mi nìkan tí mo ní ká comment. So if you put your comment out, Baba mi Edun Yusuf Abiodun, so I'll pick your comment and I'll read it out. I'm being honest now. Only Adéwùnmí, Yoruba nation is our paradise, the promised land that we are waiting for. Mr. Fatai, Motajo Mokinsa, only more wisdom, Mr. Koiki. Allah alone in wisdom. Moke brother, may Ayomi Okúndámíjù, baby in Kombe. It's good to see you. Bank African Confidential. Moke Bointawani, Ilu America. Moke Intawani, African country. Moke Intawani, Asian country. Arab countries. We have a lot of Yoruba people that are walking around the world in different places. Titi de Russia, you know, one in Afghanistan the other day, and we're spread all over the place, and we are well prepared for whatever situation Tababarawa, especially when you leave Nigeria. Many people have traveled and they've developed, school, but they've developed their skills. Ẹni tó ń ṣerun a máa lọ sórí YouTube, a tún máa lọ wo bó ṣe ń ṣe mí tó yẹ pé a wà ní ti gbàlódé, kò dúró pé torí pé ti Yorùbá lóun mọ̀ ṣe a tún lọ kọ́ míì. Ẹni tó mọ bó ṣe ń jó nǹkan a tún máa lọ kọ́ díẹ̀ sí. So in tí bàbá Akintoye ń try láti ṣàlàyé ni pé these are things that Nigeria was never ready to, because the election of 1979 was rigged. Well, Jẹ́ kí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ wọlé is another different discussion. But right now, Baba Akintoye ní, in the opinion of most Yoruba people, thank you so much, Mayor Brown says, I am a war veteran and I take interest in this program. It's good to have you on the platform. Thank you. In the opinion of the most Yoruba people, the most damaging impact of Nigeria on our Yoruba nation is Nigeria's impact on the Yoruba children and the youth. You will notice that today, Eric, almost all the Yoruba land, we have people that are called all kind of names. Each state have them. They are like the weapon for the politicians, and when they've used them, they dump them, and if they become very difficult, they will kill them. Most of them, they've been taken out of Nigeria some 20, 25 years ago because of some of the crime. Some of them have repented now, and I'm being honest. I want to totally understand. They were tools for politicians. But come about one day things will go against them. They've left Nigeria mostly to UK and mostly to America, and sometimes to other countries within Africa. Safety domain Yoruba nation is our fresh natural habitat. Putting us in Nigeria is like putting salt in the waters in which fresh water fish lives. So we want to come out of Nigeria so that we can start afresh. How can you start afresh? The first thing is you have what they call a youth development program. In UK, let's start with UK before we go into Singapore. So I'm going to put youth development program, and I'll put UK, and I'll see what comes up out of it. Youth development, not league, program. Let's see what kind of program the UK might offer. And I've just typed on youth on Google, youth development program, UK. That is what I typed. Let's see what has come back out. actionforyouth.org, youth transformation program, support for young people. And I'm going to open that up and I'm going to read what it says. And because this is a platform that wants to reference to whatever we are discussing. So I'm also sharing the link. And I think Facebook allowed me to do some sharing right now on the Facebook. So let's see. Other people when they post notes on the Facebook. Let's hope. Well, Facebook man sometimes hit back. I think it's going through. I think so. Let's see. So let's move swiftly. At almost 3 a.m. in London. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ayomikun should be 10 o'clock like while America be. Some are 5 hours, some are 8 hours, but at least the average America is about 5 hours behind UK. So we're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 10 o'clock local time in America. And I'll be posting these as well on my timeline, Lori Facebook, so that you can also see what I'm talking about in case the Facebook or I can post it. Will post this on the timeline. Once again, a very good morning. A crawler in Canada, America, Some are just making their way to work right now. Once again, a very, very good morning. 7 p.m. in California. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you want me 7 o'clock, 7 hours behind. Abi, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in California. Yeah, I believe somewhere around there. Yeah. 7 p.m. in California. All right, so let's move swiftly. Eshegoni, my brother. Monkey Bubani truck drivers. 9 p.m. in Texas. So you want me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hours behind. America is a very beautiful place. Their timing is also different. Texas, California, massive. 52 states, Colorado, America. You wonder why some Americans never traveled out because it cover Google country one, a big state one. America, they buy your good morning. Now, we're talking about the Youth Development Program, and I've just opened one that says an Action for Youth Initiative is a program designed to support vulnerable young people. Ele are vulnerable 50 states, Eshegoni. So America has 50 states, and you can imagine some America have not even visited up to 10. While some have covered it. I'm sure a Yoruba man or in Nigeria would have covered more. Maybe to move from one place to the other, to move from one place. And to jam America gone over Nibito BC for the last 30, 40 years. The breakout program is hard-hitting 12-week anti-knife and gang program designed to bring positive change to the lives of the young people at risk of being sucked into crime and of losing purpose in their lives. So what to wonder Koiki, okay, Chicago is 9 p.m. as well. Eshegoni, okay, it's Chicago now. Easy, okay, brother, Miami Longwa. So you can see how we have, Yoruba people in different parts of America. We've seen Chicago, California, Texas, Miami, and many more like that. Then I enter one in UK, Mokinyi as well. One thing we need to understand, Yoruba nation is our heavenly Jerusalem, which we earnestly behold to see, and we cannot wait. Shout out to many of you that are quiet. Ayomikuno to cover 30 states out of the 50. Sometimes some people's job allow them to travel around swiftly and quickly, while some is just for one reason or the other. So brother Ayomikun says he has done 30 states already. Thank you so much. What we are discussing is part of what Baba Akintoye asked us to do on this platform. This is the 4th week, and we are discussing our youth development program. I always like to let you know that Nigeria and crime war, and many people that lives in UK knows what I'm talking about. So I'm going to give you some of the latest atrocities in the UK. Sometimes Nigbolodo BBC, because they try to avoid letting you know that there's crime in this country. Shout out to those of you that have joined us, on the Twitter space, and those of you that are watching us on Twitter. So we, apart from the mixer that I did not turn on, at least we have one person listening to us on the Twitter space, where we have 8 people so far on the Twitter. And later on, I do post all these videos back again. So let's go to, I normally go on a website, on a X, which is formerly Twitter. Easy Sokwe Igbowosha, good evening to you, my hero. And it's all our own hero as well. Igbowo stopped the invasion of the Fulani terrorists to some extent. Let me give you the background to some of the crimes in the UK in the last couple of days. But yet, we've just heard about the breakout program, an action for the youth initiative. It is developed to have maximum impact. The breakout program is tailored to individual needs and uses a package of mentoring, classroom sections, outdoor education We work with schools to identify participants, typically those displaying various early indicators of crime. Enter Walori, Koikimedia Instagram is going a little bit, but I'm going to come back because we only have 1 hour every time on the Instagram. So Tobatiku, the program hasn't completed. I will be coming back. So in 14 seconds, that will go off. So a time I wonder, courtesan, can we bring them back into a program? Can we develop them into a tailored program? Yes. University, and they will be able to do that to support the Yoruba nation when, as at the time, we have our own independent country, to revive the lost generation that the contraction politicians have done for their own selfish gain. Ǹjẹ́ ìrí kí politician lóye máa lo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ láti máa lọ fi para wọn, láti máa fi jà? No. I'm going to still tell you about the crimes, but we are talking about a program designed to support vulnerable young people. I want to know vulnerable. What is the meaning of vulnerable? Let's look at the English dictionary of the word
vulnerable.
As in
vulnerable.
As in
vulnerable.
Exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. All-Star Yoruba TV, we have millions of
vulnerable
Yoruba people, Igbo people, Hausa people, Ishekiri. Why do we have
vulnerable?
It's because we don't have a tailored program for them. Baba Theophilus Akintoye Koiki, I have covered 32 states out of the 50. A lot of Yoruba people are doing very well in America. But they are not involved in Yoruba nation yet. We don't know why. And they are not going to do anything in Nigeria. We have people that are doing logistics in America, people that are in IT, people that are in private business, and then we have other people that are also doing their own little things. Why Tiashini
vulnerable?
And you think that we cannot revive them back? Kò sọ́mọ kan tó gbé wá látọ̀run tó wá sílé ayé tó bá jẹ́ pátá ni. You just need to give them, nurture them. Èmi ò lè jẹ́ pé kò rí love. We now have Yoruba people say, Tinubu, hey, láti ìgbà tí Buhari ti gbé lọ. I mean, how did we even get to where people will be still putting Buhari, that evil monster, dead or alive? I asked a question on my ex. Is Buhari still alive? Because Kowagba treatment in London. Double body. The reason why we have
vulnerable,
and the meaning is people that are exposed to possibility of being attacked. And we have many of them. They are people that are
vulnerable.
That is what the politicians have done. But kakaki politician wa a tailored program to support them. We saw, I'm not making this up, okay? When the Olori Buruku former governor took the senator, not Bengadane, the other one, Ibukunle Amosun, Olosho Olori Buruku pẹ̀lú fìlà gogoro tó ń dé káàkiri. Ṣé rántí kó lọ dá ìbọn padà fún òfin kó bọn yẹn fún Dàpọ̀, because wọ́n àti Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún will agree going to the election, because I covered the election in Ogun State in 2019. Ọ̀tọ̀ lẹni tó ń support, ọ̀tọ̀ lẹni tí party endorse. So later on we heard that ó lọ kó àwọn ìbọn tó rà, ó kó padà lọ fún Inspector General of Police. Èyí tó yẹ kó kó fún state government, the new governor tó ń bọ̀. I mean, because as a governor, when you're going, you will hand over to the new person tó ń bọ̀. But nítorí pé wọn àti Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún wọ ọ̀rẹ́ going into that election, gbogbo ìbọn tó rà tó kó fáwọn ọmọ, ṣẹ́rí gbogbo cultism tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nìí, gbogbo àwọn politicians yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. They are using them for firepower. All Stars sọ pé those rich Yoruba got confused when Iya Mushi turned the movement to child play. Benny, because but we hope that most of them will eventually come back. In their journey, ìyẹn ló ṣe ń pè ní movement. But à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa a particular topic tí Bàbá Akintoye sọ lára 94-page document. Eléyìí is, I can say that so far ní gbogbo ìta tí ń bá bọ̀, eléyìí wà very very unique and important. Aláwọn ọmọ tó ṣe pátá nílùú yìí. Ọ̀pọ̀ àwọn kan prison ló máa ní kó lọ depending on their crime. Àwọn kan wọ́n ní jẹ́ kó lọ sí prison. Wọ́n máa ṣe ìtàn pè ní a tailored program. So before we go into the crime ní UK, America náà ní crime tiẹ̀ tó pọ̀. Àwọn tẹ̀ máa ń fìbọn ṣeré ní bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń ra chewing gum lọ́rùn ìbọn l'America. TV for Nigeria, welcome to the program. Ẹ bá gbọ́wọ́lé share button. Kò pọ̀ jù tẹ́ bá pín sí inú àwọn platforms yìí. Ẹ̀yẹ́ pín síbẹ̀ kẹjẹ́ kọ́ máa wọ́n dà pé ta ló ń pè ní Koiki. Ẹgbẹ́ jágbàjàgbà kúrò ní platform. Ẹ̀yẹ́ kọ́ lọ jù sínú platform yìí. Ẹ kọ́ share link kẹ́ lọ jù sínú ẹ̀. Ẹ fi tó kù lẹ̀. Ẹni máa gbọ́, ẹni tó ní gbọ́ ni. Bò kò sẹ́ni kankan. Kódà kó lọ ka 30 PhD ó lè fix in Nigeria. Tó bá darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn, ó máa di olè bí tiwọn náà ni. Some people go to politics to fix the problem. But nígbà tó bá débẹ̀ wá rí pé kò ṣe fix, àwọn náà di kíni jẹun sókè. But l'America, people go into politics to support the people. Kò ṣe pé àwọn náà perfect. And I saw the America representative all of say India, all about kí ló ń pè máa yẹn Dalima àbí kí ló ń pè that àwọn náà fẹ́ àwọn Tibet. Àwọn náà ti ń jà fún independence, and their leader, àwọn American Pelosi wà ní wọ́n pè ní Dalai Lama, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso described himself as a simple Buddhist monk. He is the spiritual leader of Tibet. He was born on the 6th of July 1935 to a farming family in a small hamlet located. China now won the money independent. He's been fighting for it for a very long time. He has a government in exile. Anytime I say Biafra government in exile. I want any government in exile. The India looking operate. Bishop sort about a representative from America. Most often people by an international platform. They are currently in India as I speak to you, even up to their speaker, Pelosi. Pelosi won India by the Democrat and the Republican. Koda, they are still asking China, China communist in Onowunigba. But that is a discussion for another day. But let's quickly give you, like I said earlier, some of the crimes in the UK within the last couple of days. You'll be shocked. Let's start with 3 hours ago. An air ambulance has landed in South Norwood this evening in Yalaliano, Tuesday, June 18, with a report of stabbing in the Croydon neighborhood. Right? There is still air ambulance. Is that the same thing in Nigeria? Where there is crime, is there support for the air ambulance or the normal road ambulance or the motorbike ambulance to save lives? This is UK. Stabbing conshele ni Croydon. Air ambulance. So I park is in park. While the ambulance is on the road and wanting treated, but to get the patient quickly to the hospital, make sure the air ambulance is sent out. That is what a Yoruba government looks forward to. All stars Yoruba. It is so annoying when Irolabi was saying, "Emi ati àwọn sister mi ni anso bi a ṣe máa ṣe." I told her I would do it this way. Those statements push away rich education Yoruba people. She has gone now, and gbogbo tó kò tọkàn ṣe nísìn is just a waste of time. She actually destroyed the movement. A lot of people were confused. Àwọn kan tẹ̀lé. In America yìí tẹ̀ wá yẹn, àwọn èèyàn tẹ̀lé Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì. People that I was thinking that are well educated. Well educated. Just focus rate and balance. Let's go again to more of these. Again, 6 hours ago, the same handle is called London at UK Street News at Crime LDN. A murder suspect has claimed that he was attacked with a dog chain before he stabbed a man to death, knifed another in the stomach, slashed the ex-girlfriend in the face. This is in UK. Ẹni tó mú pó pààyàn, ó ní ẹni tó ń pààyàn, ó kọ́kọ́ fi chain ajá, ó fi attack òun, lòun fi stab ẹ̀, ó stab ẹ̀ to death, then ó tún tọ̀bẹ̀ bọ ẹlòmíì níkùn, girlfriend ex-girlfriend ó slash ẹ̀ ti mọ̀ pé lè èèyàn bí ni. Let's go further. 12 hours ago, just at the same in Deptford, 3 youths trying to stab someone láti fi gba bicycle. Àwọn ọ̀dọ́ mẹ́ta wọ́n fi gba kẹ̀kẹ́ oníkẹ̀kẹ́, but wọ́n fi wá fi ọ̀bẹ stab ẹni yẹn. UK lélẹ̀ ní London lélẹ̀ tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ o. Let's go further. Report of 2 people stabbed in Dagenham in a barber shop. I'm sure báwọn tó bá ń gbé ní àdúgbò yẹn ó ṣeé ṣe kó ti máa rí ìyẹn ní 12 hours ago. Èèyàn méjì stabbed bí awọ́kúwọ̀kú, but helicopter tó máa rescue ẹni yẹn, mo rí helicopter yẹn báyìí nísìn, ọlọ́pàá gbogbo ẹ̀ ti wà níbẹ̀. So crime will always occur even tá bá gba Yoruba country, but you must have a tailored program to support people that have been affected and the people that have committed the crime. Sometimes they might be sentenced for a particular length of period to go to the prison. And then if we think that they should be back into the community after serving their terms, I'm not talking into panyo, but I'm talking prison, or my reformed, they come back and they live with us in the society. But the system knows them by identifying them that any total lossy prisonry. So there are some jobs that they might not ask them to do, and there are some jobs that they will advise them to go and do. What you reform more. Many people that are still in the prison after 4 years of the EndSARS. Ó dẹ̀ ní Tinubu, ìwọ ni bàbá àwọn protester, ìwọ gan ló ń kówó fáwọn tá fi ń protest. So ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń jáde nísìnyí, that's why we don't know what is going to happen. We should just prepare for whatever is going to happen by the time we hit back the street again. Because I don't want any Yoruba person to wá jáde nígbà pé Koiki iṣẹ́ tuntun bẹ̀rẹ̀. Bàbá àwọn protester ní Bọ́lá Tinubu, wọ́n ní kódà òun ló máa ń gbówó fún wọn tó fi ń protest. It's coming up to 18 minutes past 3 a.m. And I need to reduce my voice a little bit. Vaseline, ọkọ̀ máa ń jẹ́ kété kò moisture ni. Crude oil, of extract, about to extract the crude oil, finishing it. You feed the Vaseline on lele. Our land crude oil. Our call anti Vaseline. Lawful. Let me give you 2 more from this page and then we move swiftly. Police are currently on scene at Stangate Road after being called to a fight in the street. Officer found 2 male victims, one of which has a stab wound to the back of the head and has been taken to the East London hospital. The other victim suffered only minor injuries. A crime scene is currently in place at the location. No arrests have been made at this stage. There's nothing to suggest a wider risk to the public. Now you've been able to understand that London tẹ́ ń gbé yìí gan crime wà ń bẹ̀, yes. Mo kí ẹ Adekunle plenty èèyàn ti Koikimedia. There is crime in this country. Kò mí pé the government is not doing enough. You'll be wondering, Koiki kí ló wá fa crime lọ́dọ̀ tí yín? Ó ní ebi òun pa àwọn èèyàn, ìyà ń jẹ wọ́n, but kí ló ń fa crime? That is the nature of human being. Matthew, ìlú òfò ni o, Nigeria, useless country with senseless leaders. Bàbá mi Ahmed Jamil, wọ́n ní Nigeria is a failed nation. What we want is our own Yoruba nation, Yoruba people nation from around the world. Our Yoruba people will write our own constitution, not the fraudulent constitution. Moki Mr. Kolawole Kosoko. A constitution that will give the right to a freedom of religion, freedom of elementary school, education, trade, schools, good health care, facilities, super infrastructure in Mori ìkọ̀kọ̀ lórí Instagram kí n tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ program nígbà tí mo jí kọ́ mo ti sùn lọ sí bíbá kọ̀tà jí náà ni nígbà tí tọ́ gbọ́ mi. So I went on Instagram. Wọ́n ní ẹ̀rọ̀mọ ọjì zọ̀kálù títì tọ́nú tó ṣe open tó ẹ̀mọ̀ pé tó bá ti ṣí títì tó ṣí kankan wọ́n máa ṣe afẹ́fẹ́ rífẹ́ wọ́n ní òjò ti gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ. And only God knows how much millions. Mo kí ẹlẹ́ǹkan sí Adekunle plenty kò ní bàjẹ́ fún brother mi. Mo kí bàbá mi Gòjé 1881 sister Bukẹ padà sórí ètò ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gan ni. Mo kí wọ́n tẹ́ wà lórí night shift tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ báyìí 12 hours ó sì di 7 kan tó ṣe tán ní gbogbo hospital l'Amẹ́ríkà ní Canada ní UK ní Nàìjíríà náà that's tó bá ń san salary fún wọn. No motivation fáwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ nílé ní àṣìṣe 12 hours ẹ̀ ní sanwó fún ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ fi lálùbáríkà ẹ̀yin politicians ẹ̀ ní lálùbáríkà wàláì ẹ̀ ní àlùbáríkà. Mo ṣe ń kántí bàbá mi Ahmed Jamil Adekunle sọ tó bá ń gbọ́ super infrastructure that can connect you from your own village to the next person's village, even if it's just a small train, tí kò ní ju 4 carriage, it means 9 carriage, depending on the length of the platform. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé gbogbo kìíní ta fẹ́ tà ń sọ yìí, it is part of a development. Gbogbo àná làjọ máa build it. Àbẹ̀rẹ̀ pé mi nìkan ni máa lọ ṣe ni. We will all be responsible for that. But tó bá ń expect fáwọn olùṣí politician tó wà ń bẹ̀ nísìn olórí burúkú ni gbogbo wọn, jẹgúrú jẹrá ni wọn, ó lè tara wọn nìkan lọ́mọ. They are not going to build the infrastructure, a super infrastructure. Lọ́wọ́ fọ́ọ̀rọ̀ ká Akérédolú. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ó build hospital tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ni, kò ní láti lọ sí Germany láti lọ gba treatment kó tó kú. The same thing with Ajimobi. They are all criminals. You think they care about you? They don't care about any one of us. Tara wọn nìkan lọ́mọ. Tara wọn. Kẹ́kẹ́ òkú mo kí ẹ. Now, mo ti fún yín ní background crime tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní London. But what do we do? What can be done when we say youth development program? Mo ṣètò lọ wo oríṣiríṣi ló wà o. There's this other one called Youth Lead UK. Let's open that again. Are you 14 to 25 years old? Wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé ṣé ọmọ 14 ni mí títí dé 25. Join the Youth Leads. Gives you the chance to develop your skills. Sori skills, tí yàn bá ní, tó bá ní knowledge skills kan, it is always good to get to be nurtured. Kó tó bọ̀ fún ẹ ní àwọn nǹkan tó máa lò. Ó dá nísìn, okay, ó ní skills. Let's look at this. Ó ní skills, ó lè ṣe kíní. Wàá lọ ṣe more training. Wàá lọ ṣe more training. Mo bọ̀. Ìtàn ọmọ mi fún mi ní Father's Day lélẹ̀. Can you see that? Glass. Any natural resources that if you say glass nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ṣìgbà máa ń gbọ́ kinní kan olùwà glass. Olùwà glass ẹ ló yẹ kó máa ṣe glass tá máa tà tó máa pè ní Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine, Ìwúre Day, Christianity Day, Islamic Day. Àwa la máa ní product yẹn. Àwa máa export it in large quantity lọ sí gbogbo àgbáyé. But the skills láti fi produce kinní tó bá tẹ̀ ní knowledge àwa lo technology bí bàbá Akintoye ṣe sọ láti fi make kó wà faster. Tó bá wá jẹ́ pé handmade ẹ lọ wo dínà inú ẹ̀ ń dùn ó náà gbé handmade furniture sínú ilé. That means pé ìyẹn máa wọ́n because ó ṣe fọwọ́ ṣe ni in details. Èèyàn mélòó ló lè ra handmade furniture? Many of you doesn't seem to understand what we are talking about. Ṣé a ní resources láti fi ṣe glass yìí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Ó wà. But do we have the technology? Do we have the production line? Kò sí. Ṣé bí olùwà glass ló máa ń pè àbí? It is dead. Kí lẹ rò pé ó ṣe dead? Because wọ́n ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ìrántí wa kó dìde. In táwọn ọmọ mi fún mi lélẹ̀ fún Father's Day. God bless. Happy Father's Day. This one says, and I quote, "Are you 14 years old to 25? Get involved. Joining the youth leads give you the chance to develop your skills, realize your potential, create a positive change in the community." Our Export magazine is the only magazine led by the young people, and we are looking for people like you to get involved in the series of amazing youth-led activities. Across 3 months, you will create the magazine, write articles, and plan the delivery of social action projects to make things better in your area. But today, do we have such? Matthew, I love you. You're saying exactly what I have in my mind. Some of you think that we are upset with you, we are fighting. No. Are you 14 to 25? Get involved. Okay, motion touch. Government. There's another one called UK Youth. It's called UK Youth Programs, Summer Jobs Program, Outdoor Learning at Avon Terry, Newcastle. Youth, UK Youth Network, Quality Marks. Are you convinced? Podcast, Resources Report, Digital Resources Hub, Empowered Toolkit. We have established a strong reputation for delivering high-quality, large-scale national skills development programs for young people from disadvantaged backgrounds, from outdoor learning, online safety, to money management and mental health. We reach and engage young people who do not traditionally have access to personal development opportunities. These are part of what would happen when we have a country, not Nigeria, because Nigeria will not give you this kind of programs. Olori Buruku country. It has nothing to offer the youth. If you like, pray for it. It's not going to work. It must dissolve by fire, by force. But before it gets dissolved, we must also let you know that what Baba Akintoye is saying, our youth development program will transform our nation. I have told you 3 different websites talking about development of youth in the UK. In Yoruba culture, children and youth are highly valued as the most important asset. But today, it is no longer the same. Why? It's because of Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have anything to offer the youth. because someone they agbero, thugs, politician tools. These ones are talking about tools to empower the youth, but the Yoruba politicians are using our youth for their own selfish gain. They are bastard, olórí burúkú ni wọ́n, látòkè délẹ̀. People ask, what are the 5 pillars of a youth work? In their latest blog for the EWC, Tim and Darrell discuss how youth work fosters positive, trusting relationships which can provide the basis of improving well-being. Kí ló ń pè ní well-being? What is the meaning of well-being? Let's Google it.
Well-being.
Kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀? Many of you today do not have access to
Well-being.
a state of being comfortable, healthy, or happy. You know, we have been told lies. Nigeria are the most happiest people in the world, really. In hunger, in poverty, in lack of basic amenities of life. Yes, we are happy. Need choice now. So when you see Oyinbo man, you are happy. You see Oyinbo woman, you are happy. You see your brother coming from America, you are happy. Because you know that period of time, you'll be well taken care of. The meaning of the word
well-being.
The state of being comfortable. You are comfortable. I've just proved to you that my meal from last night, I didn't eat it because I slept off in my living room here. Are you comfortable? Are you healthy? Kò sẹ́ni tó ní àìsàn kan tó ń tọ́jú lára. Kódà kó mo gbọ́ tí Prophet Tibetan said it that if you're sick, first go to the hospital and let them examine what is wrong with you before we start praying for it. You must know what is wrong with you. Many of you are sick, but you want just prayer to solve the problem without doing. And sometimes your sickness is just that maybe you are not living in a very conducive environment. Mosquito Ibitowa. Smelling kosititi to debe. So those things are not religious problems. They are not spiritual problems. They are just basic things that needs to be looked and taken care of by the government. But your government care less about who you are. But they're telling you that the future will be bright. But everybody knows that the future is not going to be bright. Well-being, or well-being also known as wellness, prudential, value, prosperity. Did you hear that word? The good news of prosperity. You're expecting a prosperity in a zoo country that doesn't value human lives. How can people be kidnapped and then you have to pay the anti-kidnapping unit to go after criminals that have kidnapped your loved ones? And we are meant to have a country. And for you, you think that is a country. Oh, Koiki, all this you are saying, we know it's a problem, but we are going to get a leadership that will solve it. It's a leadership problem. They don't know. The foundation is faulty. All-Star Yoruba TV says, and I quote, youth of Yoruba were either politicians' prison or religious prison. They occupy their thinking faculty. We have a lot of Yoruba people, men, women, that can produce a tailored youth program that will keep our people alive longer than the 52 years according to the World Health Organization. According to the WHO, World Health Organization, life expectancy at birth in Nigeria, life expectancy at birth has improved by 9.76 years from 53.6 years in 2000 to about 63 years in 2001. What is the Nigerian death rate? In 2023, 10.994. The growth rate is minus 1.73%. In 2021, the death rate was 11.188. I don't know what that means, but those in the medical line or those in that field will probably know. Growth rate is minus 1.700%. In 2021, 11.382, minus 1.680. WHO Health System Ranking of Nigeria. As of 2023, Nigeria is ranked with 157 health system in the world. 157. That is why most of you cannot access good quality healthcare. Even your governors and Tinubu has to run out of Nigeria. Buhari is no longer coming to UK for treatment. All of a sudden, Buhari is now a fit man. The future will reveal whatever was behind what has been happening for a long time. The damage that has been done. All of a sudden, Buhari is not coming to the UK anymore. And to my by treatment, what if fit in his Abi? Somebody asked, what is the main cause of death in Nigeria? What is the main cause of death in Nigeria? Neonatal condition, whatever that is, I don't know. Although infectious and neonatal conditions continue to be the primary drivers of morbidity and mortality in Nigeria and West Africa, there is evidence of a growing burden of a non-communicable disease. Buhari is a mannequin. All of a sudden, Buhari was in UK more. Kò ní dá fún gbogbo wọn. Wọ́n ti gbé wa ní mugun. Ọlọ́run máa ṣèdájọ́. Tinubu mọ̀ nǹkan nípa ẹ̀ àti British. Ṣé rí UK ó kàn máa ń dùn mí pé ìtẹ̀ wà Nàìjíríà tẹ́ ń sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ kíìpù náà. Àwa tá à ń gbé láàrin wọn gan máa ń wọ́ndà pé even ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yoruba nation. UK. Let's focus back on the youth development program.
Well-being.
Do you think that Nigerians have quality well-being? Benny, All Stars Yoruba TV says, over a year now, Buhari is no longer going for medical checkup. All of a sudden, Buhari is fit. That's that kind of, strange. Where could the pressure on Maloria? Who knows? The meaning of the word
well-being,
also known as wellness, prudential, value. You will if you like, pray 5 times daily. If you like, go to church every day. You will not get
well-being
in Nigeria. It's not your fault. Makiawa Omolara Oluwabumi. Well-being or well-being, also known as wellness, prudential value, prosperity, quality of life, is what is intrinsically valuable relative to someone. So the well-being of a person is what is ultimately good for this person. Benny, a Buhari, a sick man, is now an healthy man all of a sudden. Wọ́n ní gbogbo tójú kìíní kan pamọ́ ojú Ọlọ́run tó. Whether he was dead or not is not the issue, but we know that something is not right, it's not adding up. And Tinubu sold us out for his own ambition, which he's currently enjoying. But like I said yesterday, and I'm saying it again today, time will tell, especially for those of us that believe that Tinubu will come up with something that would eventually bring the freedom of your well-being, a quality life, safety dominion. The quality of life is measured of the value of life. Does Nigeria value life? L-I-F-E. London, India, Freddie, Echo. Ṣé Nigeria value ẹ̀mí èèyàn? Even if you don't want Yoruba nation, how much time do you think that your life will be valued, whether under Tinubu administration for the next 3 years? Don't tell me Tinubu just came to power. It is an APC. It's just doing exactly from the continuity of what Buhari has done. Only very soon, Buhari will join Super Eagles to start playing football. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ìyá mi ọmọlára olúbùnmi, all secrets will be revealed soon. Kò sọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀. Gbogbo tó ṣe pamọ́ ojú Ọlọ́run tó. And that is why when you listen to whether you're a spiritual person or not, you can see that the Nigerian flag is filled with blood. Eje. Prophet Nasiru said it at some of his prophecy that the flag is dripping of blood. And whether you look at it from the prophecy side or not, just ask yourself, is Nigeria not bleeding? It's a country that is bleeding. We are 1 hour, 37 minutes into the broadcast. It will probably not last more than 3 hours. So that even if I don't sleep, because that's why I'm out again this morning. But I slept. My wife got home around Motisum before 8 o'clock. The Motisum. Nigeria value life. You want me to go and give you the statistics of how many people have died since Tinubu came to power? Do you know how many people are dying right now? Not just of hunger, but of many things that should have not happened in a country that is so wealthy with abundant resources. Okay, some of you say, Koiki, but let's push for a restructure. Time will tell whether Tinubu will even adopt such. Because I don't want Tinubu ship when I want not. Do your own thing, return power back to us. That would be, I mean, you might say, but what dangerous as my manager. Look, that agenda that they have, some of you are still thinking that that agenda is not real. It is a true agenda, something they're pushing from the Arab countries into the southwest of Africa, mostly Nigeria, only in Nigeria. The one thing I'm just happy is that as much as many of you don't like us to talk about the Biafra will fight to their last blood. That is what also, makes us say, okay, then you've come back up in your law, our conflict law, but slow her down because Yoruba people are the one holding Nigeria together, especially the criminals among us. Okay, if our governors come together and say, Ashe Nigeria, yes, we can then restructure the system with our own independent, autonomous constitution. And if they are valuable to become the next governor, the constitution will decide, not me. But do you think that Seyi Makinde want that system to change? They're criminals. Seyi Makinde is nursing his own presidential ambition. as many as them. You'll be wondering, look, the former deputy governor of Ambode, what is the senator? Abi, that woman, they are all criminals. They don't value our lives. She wedding, kakudele mama ovation, ya picture, papa, based on Instagram. Emma Lowo níbẹ̀. May God allow me to sustain in Nigeria. Well, are you selfish about yourself? What about others? Tí wọ́n bá ní network tó ní access, maybe because one reason or the other you have network of access. Ṣé gbogbo àwọn tó wà lábúlé níjẹ̀bú Òde, lẹ́kìtì, lóńdó, lọ́ṣùn, ṣé gbogbo wọn ló ní access? Is that the way it's meant to be? Are we not meant to have a government of inclusive? Look, conservative government, personally, we are tired of them. I can't wait for July 4th to go and cast my vote. 14 years, not even Niwalara Nilwe. That is, kò wá mí pé tí conservative bá tún padà wọlé, àwọn ni Koiki tó sọ pé wọ́n láyé conservative, ní ṣe tó ń fẹ́. No. I must still be carried along in the system. So some of you that wants to defend all these criminals because you are well learned, idiots, want to defend nonsense because any access Sheyi Tinubu, any access Sheyi Makinde, and then so what? Who cares? Why are you selfish about yourself? Why not think about the other 30 million Yoruba people that doesn't have access to them? And they are meant to serve them. But it's the other way around. With a fraudulent constitution that allows a senator to go and be doing constituency projects. And yet the local government is rendered useless. And the same bloody local government wants to control our Oba. Dear local, let's continue the awareness and let's keep it clean. But at some point, it can change. Local government chairman, tí fund, àtúwà máa control àwọn ọba wa, ní ṣoríire gbogbo yín. That is why they lọ́wọ́ gbogbo jà, wọ́n ti para wọn dànù ní Rivers State. Is that not the same problem? Go to Rivers State and see the mess going on there. Pẹ̀lú lórí burúkú wíkì àti gbogbo wọn tó ti ṣòṣì bí ẹran aṣẹ́wó, bombastic politicians. They dá fún gbogbo yín. Alálẹ̀ máa pa yín tẹ́wà ní tẹ́wà lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Alálẹ̀ ló máa pa yín. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ, alálẹ̀ máa wọlé pa yín ni. For not giving us
well-being.
Any ṣoríire. Ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa gbé nínú air condition. Àwọn èèyàn sùn nínú ooru bí ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí nísìnyí. Wọn níná orí fóònù wọn. How did we get to where people are becoming mentally derailed because they have to be thinking about charging their phone? Phone them and charging the bíbá. Kò ṣe pé náà yẹn náà free. I have to give my wife money to make sure that the light is on. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ fún wa lówó bá lè mi ṣe fẹ́ tí mo bá níná bá mo ṣe fẹ́ tan rútà mi tẹ́ máa fi gbọ́ mi nísìn. Tí mo bá tan rútà tí wọ́n ti múná lọ ṣé mo lè wá ṣe program? Evil politicians. Ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa ní well-being. Ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa ní àlàáfíà. Ní lálàáfíà gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yóò ní ṣoríire. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yín pátápátá ni mo sọ wọ́n ní ṣoríire. Èyí tó bá ń ṣoríire inú wọn ó máa wá lẹ̀ ni fún ìkà tẹ́ ń ṣe fáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá. Ní kúure. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Ẹ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá Akintoye. Bàbá Akintoye ni kẹ́ máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Torí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ìtọ́ fi ṣe fún yín ní ìwòtán. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni mo sọ. Ẹ má gbọ́. Ó kù díẹ̀. Ẹ máa sọ pé à ń dẹnu lórí social media. Ṣé rò pé generation tí yín lẹ́ ń dé pẹ̀lú nísìn. Generation mi lélẹ́yẹ. Àwọn ń ṣe generation àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re. Afẹ́nifẹ́re. Jẹun sókè. Gbogbo wọn fi Yorùbá fi jẹun sókè. Gbélé fún wọn, gbé mọ́tò fún wọn, àwọn ọmọ wọn sí position. Gbogbo wọn wá dákẹ́ yọ́gọ́ àsọ̀rọ̀ ràn wá. Àwọn olè.
Well-being.
A sì ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa our youth development program will transform our nation. Nigeria, ìlú òfò. I am a true Nigerian. Kí ló mọ̀ tán pé Nigeria? Nígà area tí Lugado lórí burúkú àtàwọn British olè tó formed in 1914 for their own selfish interest. Tá a bá tẹ mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe bó ti mọ̀ ó ti gbọ́ nísìn, so kí ló ṣe wá ń defend òṣì fún? Ìbí dáàdi ẹ àti mọ́mí ẹ wọ́n defend ẹ títí. What has been the outcome? Nigeria has seriously hurt this highly cherished Yoruba agenda of child and youth development in two painful ways. One, make sure we destroy public schools. Our old students, that one funding our schools here. For a very long time, that's all our Sonwosi school for Kokomo as a former member of Abeokuta Grammar School. Nígbà táwọn tàtẹ̀jọ́ wà nínú group gan tó gbà tí mò ń ṣe, mo exit àrẹ. Èbí tí bá wà nínú group ni máa mọ tán ṣe. I still have communication with the president in America. That was until 4 years now. I left the group. Ìbọ̀wọ́ mi ni mò ń ná nínú bíbà. Ṣé mi lẹ́yìn kí n máa náwó ni? Ṣèbí tó bá yẹ pé state ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa, ṣèbí state ló yẹ kó take care gbogbo public school. Ìwọ náà wá ń ṣẹnu yọ̀bọ̀yọ̀bọ̀ sí wa. Gbogbo ọdẹ ló ń náwó ló fi ń fọ́ǹdì gbogbo secondary school tí gbogbo wa lọ lábẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà ní South West. Àtẹni tó lọ sí Èkó High School àti Baptist Boys àti Iléṣàbí àti Abẹ́òkúta àti Girls Grammar School ní Òjẹ̀bú-Òde Grammar School ní àwọn àtàwọn ń dáwó ẹ lọ ṣe tọ́ílẹ̀tì ẹ lọ ṣe díìsì ẹ lọ ṣe blackboard. Àwa ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation tó lè transform gbogbo kìíní yẹn tó yẹ pé àwa kọ́ la ní láti máa ṣe wọn ní ká ṣẹnu shut up orí òun ló ń lọ nǹkan yẹn. Inú bá wọn dá sí mọ́, because most of them disagree with me. I'm sure some of them now are regretting it. Kọ́lọ̀ fún gbogbo alẹ́mì gbogbo. Bí àwa là ń parọ́ ni, bí olóṣèlú ló ń parọ́ ni, ẹnu ẹni gbogbo àjọ wa. Madam Bali mú kí yẹn káàárọ̀, ìyá dáadáa. Whoever is telling lies among us, the self-determination campaigner, and the politicians that have run you dry, gbogbo ara yín ti gbẹ. I don't want to go into it too much. I'll send picture and send them by. Nigeria ló ń jẹ́ kẹ́ máa look old. Most of you should not be old. I am 40. But ẹ̀bá rẹ̀ mọ 40 ní Nigeria, ó máa dàbí bàbá 70. Nígbà tó ẹ̀ wà nurtured, oúnjẹ ò dúró lára yín. Stress. Ẹ wá máa wò bẹ́ẹ̀ tó sick. Má sọ pé ẹ̀ sick. Nigeria ló fà. The well-being. Ẹ ṣé Mr. Sholagbade. Most of you today should be looking fresh with the amount of resources tó ń bẹ nínú ilẹ̀ tó ń pè ní Nigeria yẹn. Ó yẹ kẹ́ máa dánjú àwa táwa lábúròdì lọ. Bọ̀ nígbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ jẹ́ tó ń wù yín. They've converted the whole Yoruba land into abject poverty. Koiki, what is development? But the whole public school has been destroyed. Tílẹ̀ bá mọ̀ ìwọ tó wà Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tílẹ̀ bá mọ̀ láàrin lọ sí public school kó take a picture kó send ẹ̀ sí mi. I'm not talking about private schools, public schools. Not even the toilet are working. Toilet tíyàn máa lọ tọ̀. Ìtọ̀ kan tó bá tọ̀ nínú ilé o gbọ́dọ̀ flush. So ìtọ̀ máa ń rùn gan. Ìtọ̀ ń rùn jìgbẹ́ lọ. Péyàn kan kọ̀ wọ bá toilet ó tọ̀ ó gbọ́dọ̀ flush. Care the amount of, do you know the amount of omi tó lò láti fi flush ni? Kò ń ṣe péyàn yàgbẹ́ o. Kò hàn pé tíyàn bá yàgbẹ́ tí gbẹ̀yẹn bá pọ̀ ìyẹn yàtọ̀. Ìtọ̀ kódà kó jẹ́ kékeré o gbọ́dọ̀ flush because ìtọ̀ máa ń rùn. Ìwà wa jí nísìnyí ìdájí nínú ibi tí ò sí náà, àwa mú torchlight, àwa yan pọ́nrán, àwa lọ tọ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì. Òwa mọ̀ pé ìtọ̀ yẹn ó máa mú bacteria padà wá sínú àdúgbò yẹn because ìwọ nìkan kọ́ ló ń tọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. By the time tẹ bá calculate yan 100 tó ń tọ̀ ní that same street, kí ló expect? Baba mi Tio Adesina, they have successfully destroyed all Baba Awolowo did while in the Western region. Wọ́n bí iléeṣẹ́ náà dá tó ń tajà nílùú yìí, wọ́n ń ta oúnjẹ, ó wá create toilet a máa tọ̀ sí lẹ́yìn ká ti ibẹ̀ pa. Ìwọ náà wọ títí àdúgbò yìí bí yẹn lọ́ ṣe yàtọ̀ ẹ̀sán nígbà explore again discipline. Kẹ́yìn mọ̀ pé gbogbo ìtọ̀ tó ń tọ̀ káàkiri yẹn ìbá ní fún UK. Ìjọ tí mo lọ sí Central London níjọ́ birthday mi ní 31st of May, ẹ mọ̀ pé ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ ló bọ́ sí. Ìtọ̀ wa mú mi mọ́lẹ̀. Ẹ mọ̀ pé yíyọ̀ bá ti wà níta tí yàn dẹ̀ ti mọ omi tó bójú, ìtọ̀ máa gbọ̀n ẹ̀. Mo dẹ̀ ti rí sign toilet nínú bí táwa yẹn náà ní o, nínú that small confinement táwa yẹn tí mo ti ń ṣe live stream, tí mo ti ń ṣe gbogbo bí tí mo ń ṣe tèmi lọ nínú Trafalgar Square yẹn, wọ́n ti create toilet síbẹ̀. Nígbà tí mo wọnú bẹ̀ yẹn, àwọn bí ike yẹn báyìí, ike ńláńláńláńláńlá, akọ́ra yọ kíní ẹ̀ síbẹ̀ wá. Torí pé wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ni kankan wá máa tọ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì, tọ̀ sẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ kíní, tó ìtọ̀ á máa rùn, á dẹ̀ máa dá àìsàn sára. Wọ́n ní the same thing náà bẹ́ẹ̀ l'Amẹ́ríkà. Tẹ bá lọ sí àárín Èkó nísìn, èèyàn á dẹ̀ sọ̀kalẹ̀ láti ilé ẹ̀, á dẹ̀ wá sí ìsàlẹ̀, á wá tọ̀. Kí ló dé tó tọ̀ lókè? Tọ́ílẹ̀tì yẹn ò ṣiṣẹ́. Tọ́ílẹ̀tì yẹn ti block. Àwọn ilé kan wà nílùú yìí 35 story building. Báwo ló ṣe é ṣe tí àdúrú building yẹn gbogbo ìgbẹ́ tó ń yà ó dẹ̀ ń wá síbi kan, á dẹ̀ sọ̀kalẹ̀, á dẹ̀ whatever ìtọ̀ tó ń ṣe á wá sísàlẹ̀, gbogbo ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ń lọ flow. Ẹ wá ní ká dúró sí Nàìjíríà tí yẹ pé building tó yẹ pé gbogbo floor yín ẹ̀yin ò ní lift. Àríró ẹ̀rì bí a 6 floor, àwọn ilé jágbajàgba tó ń dà wó láàrin lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, just 6 story building. Ẹ wá yàgbẹ́ ní number 6, ẹ lè flush because ẹ bá flush ẹni tó wà ní number 1 ìgbẹ́ yẹn máa já sí wọn lórí. Ìlú yẹn nìkan wá sọ pé ó máa change. Building kan wà níwájú mi nígbà bí a bí 30 story building. Kó lè imagine àwọn tó wà lókè pátápátá tó bá yàgbẹ́ ìgbẹ́ yẹn gbọ́dọ̀ wá sí sàlẹ̀ tí kò ní disturb ẹni tó wà láàrin ní middle. Iṣẹ́ táwọn kan ṣe ni wọ́n pè wọ́n ní facility manager. Àwọn gbọ́dọ̀ máa monitor gbogbo building. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ mọ̀ pé tí problem bá ti wà kó tètè rectify ẹ̀, pipe ló bá ti block ní kó tètè wá nǹkan tó máa ṣe. Iṣẹ́ táwọn kan ṣe nìyẹn. Wà níbi ràtìràtì láti 63 years. No proper housing. Wọ́n kọ́ lé ìgbàlódé fẹ́ni kankan. Àwọn olówó ara wọn nìkan ní wá ralẹ̀ 100 million. Ṣé gbogbo èèyàn ló lè rọ ìjọ ni wọ́n tẹ̀ ti rí 100 million rí? 1 million tí rí 1 million. Ẹ wá sọ politics, ẹ sọ débi tí gbogbo yín fẹ́ fi rí owó láti fi jalè, láti fi máa tọ́jú ara yín, láti máa gbé big life. Káwa máa tọrọ owó lọ́wọ́ yín, ìtẹ̀bí nǹkan tẹ fẹ́ nìyẹn. Nígbà tí yàn bá yàwó ẹ̀sùn ní ilé tó lóyún, kí wọ́n lọ bọ́ lóṣèlú pé fún mi lówó, mo fi gbé ìyàwó mi lọ sí hospital tẹ̀ kò drive lọ, kò páàkì mọ́tò ẹ̀, kí ìyàwó ẹ̀ wọlé kọ́ ní kí ló ṣe ní ó kàn complain láàárọ̀ yìí náà ni àbí abébì ti fẹ́ máa dé nìyẹn, àwọn agbé nothing is working. Ìyẹn ni wọ́n ṣì wọ́n pray fún pé ó máa dà. Bàbá Akintoye jẹ́ kó yé wa pé ṣé mo ṣe lè push that. Let's end this program. I don't think I can push another 1 hour. Let ka end it. A lè ṣe tán 1 week la máa fi ṣe. Ó yẹ kí n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lánàá. ẹni Wednesday ó yẹ kí n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti jọ Monday but kò tí a ṣe catch up ó yẹ ká parí ètò. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Bóhùn ẹ̀ kò sọ pé Nàìjíríà ní youth development kó máa lọ gbọ́ nǹkan tí Dayo Israel ọmọ Yorùbá tó ní brain ni òun náà ó ń lé tiẹ̀ ní bóun náà ṣe máa jẹ tiẹ̀ ló ń wá olúkálùkù kàríkà shop ní politics Nàìjíríà. Kàríkà shop lọ sọ́dọ̀ Ṣèyí Tinubu wọ́n wá lọ present strategy àwọn youth strategy ìbọn náà wà ní future ìbí kọ̀tà tí ń gbọ́ látijọ́ ìníyẹn the youth are the future of Nigeria. Ìtọ́ sọ fáwọn gbogbo àwọn dádì tó ti wà in their 65 years or 70 ìtọ́ sọ fáwọn náà nìyẹn títí tó fi pé èjì kọ́lọ́mbà wa lọ́rẹ̀ ní gbogbo ẹni tí ẹ ti dàgbà sí wa lọ́wọ́ kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ pẹ́ fún wa ikú kan ní mẹ́ni kankan lọ nísìn àwọn olóṣèlú ní ikú máa wọlé payín lẹ́yẹ kọ̀ọ̀kan bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ ó máa wọlé payín ni torí pé ìkà ní ẹni bí níyì àwọn tó wà nílé tẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan sọ̀rọ̀ àwa la máa sọ̀rọ̀ gbáyé lórí àfi tẹ́ bá jáde tàrí pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation yẹn òun lẹ mú ní ìgbà ọ̀yà yìí tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ti mú bẹ́ẹ̀ alálẹ̀ máa wọlé payín ni ẹyẹ kọ̀ọ̀kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń ṣàdúrà kò ní gbà fún yín bọ́ bá ń rúbọ fún yín ẹbọ yín ò ní gbà bí àfà kan bá jókòó fún yín àtàfà yẹn àtẹ̀yìn ẹ máa jóná ni torí ìka ẹni bí nìyí ó lè jẹgúrú jẹrà dẹni gbogbo yín tara yín nìkan lẹ mọ̀ ìyẹn náà lẹ ṣe ń ṣèpàdé òru tẹ ń fẹ́ jẹlẹ́jẹ ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ tuntun òun lọ fi ń gúnṣẹ́ fún yín bẹ ṣe pa Bámiṣé Àyànwọlá àwọn náà wá justice fún Mohbad àti rí justice fún Bámiṣé tó pa sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọlọ́run jẹ́ rí justice fún Mohbad Délé Gíwá ní ààrẹ justice fún pẹ̀lú mi ọmọ yọ̀ǹbọ̀ yẹn ọmọ 18 àbí 21 ó pàdánù nígbà yẹn SARS àìmọye àwọn tó pàdánù ní ṣoríire gbogbo ẹni politicians gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní ọmọ aṣoríire ìwọ náà ní ṣoríire ni mo sọ wọ́n ti ní kí n má ṣépè fún yín bọ̀ tí bá ń ṣépè fún olóṣèlú tó bá sọ pé kí n má ṣépè ìwọ́gun lè pè yẹn máa wá mú tòró lórí burúkú Prof Nasiru ní ká máa fún ilé èpè lẹ need èpè àní ṣépè fún ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà mọ̀ torí ẹ̀yin ọmọ tó ń lọ wọ́n ti kó yín sábẹ́ ọṣẹ wọ́n ti fi yín gún ọṣẹ òkúpọ̀ nù yín a máa fọ́ọ̀sì yín dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí ẹ̀mí gbọ́ torí wọ́n ti dé Nàìjíríà sí oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà lábẹ́ omi lábẹ́ everywhere ló ti dé Ọlọ́run máa tú wa àwa Yorùbá bó bá àwọn Ìgbò náà kó lọ bó bá àwọn Haúsá kó máa lọ bọ̀ àwa máa lọ bọ̀ mo mọ̀ báwọn Biafra wá ẹrú ilẹ̀ máa rò pọ́n ṣe kọ́nà fún gbogbo alẹ́ mi gúngún ìpèmí àti Simon ẹ̀pà ń sọ ní láti mọ̀ yẹn eré lẹ́ máa rò pọ́n ṣe kí ọkọ̀ọ̀kan don't ever tell me not to talk about Biafra tó bá fi lọ láìkùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ kan máa lọ òkú díẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Bọ́lá Ìgè lábẹ́ Ọbásanjọ́ ẹlẹ́nu ṣọ̀bọ̀lọ̀ yẹn àwọn bàbá òfò àwọn bàbá olè odindi Chief Justice wọ́n pa sí Ìbàdàn àwọn wá justice for kìnìún kan the last one sister wa Tolúlọpọ̀ Arótilé ojú òtẹ̀ tí wọ́n the first helicopter combat pilot in the history of that country called Nigeria wọ́n ní wọ́n reverse mọ́tò wá pa sí inú cantonment wọn ní Kaduna gbogbo àwọn tí mo dárúkọ yìí ṣé mọ̀ pé Bámiṣé ní bàbá ó níyà kábíyèsí lẹ́dùmarè ìjọ làwọn yẹn fi bímọ mi padà ṣe rántí sísítà wa Bọ́láńlé Ráyè ìjọ Christmas tó ní ìbejì ọ̀nà ọlọ́pàá kan happy trigger ó fi pa sísítà wa yẹn ìgbà tó ń ṣe ìyá ẹ̀ lọ́pàá àti sísítà ẹ̀ lọ́pàá àti brọ́dẹ̀ kò ní ká ẹ lára bó ṣe ń kà wá lára náà owó Yorùbá nation náà ni mo fi ń jayé mi láti 24 years tí mo ti wà ní UK idiot bóun mi ń bá lọ́bíṣẹ́ bí lọ́bíṣẹ́ nílùú tí mo wà yìí màá sì máa gbádùn ayé mi bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ mo dẹ̀ ní láti jalè 24 years. Ìyẹn náà lè ṣe rí nǹkan kan mú jáde. Ẹni kọ́ mú jáde 24 years. Integrity yẹn dúró dáadáa. Torí àwa mọ̀ bí ta ti jáde. UK kọ́ láti. Nigeria ni mo ti ń wọ bàtà. Kí ni mo sì máa ń rà fún wa nígbà yẹn? Kò tẹ́ ṣe Marks and Spencer. Nítorí ọgbàgbọ́ orúkọ àwọn bàtà quality. Òun la máa ń wọ̀ lọ, tí máa ń wọ̀ lọ sí primary school. Wọ́n wọ̀ Nigerian primary school. Ìwọ nìyà ń jẹ nílé. La ṣe ń sọ pé sọ́pọ́ọ̀tì má jẹ́ kó rí ẹ lò. Má ronú 2027 kankan. Má ronú bá ṣe máa kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ọ̀fọ̀. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wá forí ilẹ̀ ibi wá kàgbéga falẹ̀rí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bá ti bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹjẹ́ ká máa lépa. Ìtẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtohun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Kò tẹ́ ń ṣe Nike àti fìlà. Àwọn tó rúkọ ẹ̀. It's a very popular brand in UK. Quality. Bàtà tó máa wọ̀ tó yẹ kó máa last throughout the whole of your, àwọn tí máa pè máa béèrè lọ́mọ sí lọ́la. Àwọn tí máa sọ pé thanks so much everyone. Ọ̀ràn yẹn la máa sùn. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní gbogbo ibi tí olúkálùkù wa wà. Ọbẹ̀ Elédùmarè kò ní jẹ́ kó jí wa gbé débi pé ó máa pè yín pé kẹ́ wá sanwó jíjí gbé o. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo wa. On that note, a very good morning. Àtẹni tó gbọ́ onísàlẹ̀ tó comment àti silent listener gbogbo iná ni mo kí. Bye for now. Good night.